So this is what they don't tell you about AI, and it's starting to get increasingly more frustrating. It's starting to become a hate-love relationship. Now, AI is such a cool tool. It's such a new tool. The impacts are extreme. Dario Modi, the founder and CEO of Anthropic, just released another pivotal article. I'll link that down below. But AI is starting to get frustrating in the sense where a lot of the time, and again, we're in the era where if we can build anything, like I said before, AI leads to all other sciences. So once we crack the code on AI, which is coming here in the next few years, we can build anything. And so right now, I see a lot of founders, a lot of business owners, a lot of people in general, just trying to build anything. And the problem is, if you build everything, you really are building nothing. All right, I can even see it with myself. And the problem is, it's such an addictive loop where you can start vibe coding. You can open Claude Code and you can basically just say, hey, make me this thing. And you think like you're doing work, right? And when it comes to businesses, I see this a lot. And I just see this with, again, a lot of the founders I'm talking to, and just things I'm seeing on social media, where you want to build something. So, you eventually spend some time building the thing, whether that's with N8N, whether that's actually just vibe coding an app, with like Supabase, Claude Code, Versal, whatever the case may be. You feel like you're moving the needle for your business, right? Because one, you have a dopamine effect because you feel like you're doing something. That's how addictive it is. Like, you feel like you're actually doing work. You're kind of just vibe coding, sitting there looking at it, looking at your phone, doing some stuff. And meanwhile, you're getting all these dopamine hits. So you're like, great, let's do more, let's do more. And then you maybe bring it to the team, or you bring it to, maybe you bring the solution to the team, or maybe you just do it for a personal issue, and it doesn't really work. It's very clunky still. Like, there's a few things that really have moved the needle for me. Number one, in the mornings, I get basically a daily roundup of just a bunch of AI news that I have pulling from different sources via N8N. All right, that's one thing. Another thing is potentially automating emails. But when it comes to the more nuanced stuff, or the nitty gritty stuff, just like in business, then you really do not, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. Because number one, again, you think you're doing a ton of work, and then you're going to go do it, and you're going to spend 1 to 2 days, maybe even 3 days, a whole weekend of your precious time. That's the problem. It's precious time, and there's opportunity costs where you could actually be building something out, or just working on it better, or just working on it better manually. Right? Like, the aspect, it seems like no one wants to do anything manually anymore. And sometimes that is the best solution. Again, I consult for 2 companies right now. And sometimes they say, hey, can we do this with AI? And I'm like, well, can't we just get Susan? Can't we just get Derek to continue to do this manually? And maybe we'll create some SOPs that definitely we can use AI for. Maybe we can create a Claude skill. We can definitely use that. Do the whole process and create this entire workflow, and then have automations that are going to fail, because they do fail. I want you to understand this. Don't just think you're going to basically one-shot prompt this entire N8N prompt without implementing APIs, without connecting a bunch of stuff, and then have it work completely 100% of the time. It's not going to happen. So the thing is, going back to my main thing, is that everyone wants to build everything. However, you see little. And the problem is, a lot of these business owners, a lot of people in general, are just very bad at tracking ROI. Like ROI on your time and money. Again, I think you just get too caught up in the whole, oh, this is working, this is going to change everything, I can create anything. And eventually you start putting this stuff into place, and you're like, it's actually worsening the product, service, business. It's bogging down the team. It's not doing much. And again, you just spent tons of time putting this thing together. And so it becomes frustrating, because even I myself get caught up in that, right? Where I'm like, oh, I can solve this problem by doing this, right? I need better thumbnails. So let me create this thumbnail thing I'm gonna spend some time on creating. And meanwhile, a lot of these things in life that you're having, it's not that you don't need to create it. I mean, again, it's basically a double-edged sword here. Create as much as you can, because you can, but just be careful where your focus is going, and make sure, this is key too, is planning beforehand. Like the old saying goes, if I were to chop a tree down, I would spend most of my time sharpening the knife before going in and just hacking this thing down. And I see just a lot of people just bulldozing through these problems, through these issues, because AI will just build it. Sure, AI will build it, but AI is only going to build what you tell it to build, the output basically, or the input rather, of what you tell it, right? AI is a phenomenal tool, do not get me wrong, but it's only as good as you prompt it or plan with it. And so in today's age, number one, it's focus. And whether that is actually just saying, no, we don't need AI. And studies will show on the enterprise level, people are not actually seeing an ROI because they track these things. They track everything and they're realizing actually it's not really moving. Now, obviously, yes, they don't potentially know how to use these tools. And then there's a lot of that. But to some degree, I can totally understand where it's like we're building everything and then eventually it just doesn't really work, or it doesn't work to the degree we thought it would. So you have to be, again, very careful on what you're actually going to do. You have to plan, because if you can build it in 5 minutes, then just plan accordingly, right? You got to plan, you got to brainstorm with Claude. That's going to give you ideas, and then you can actually go down those things. Then you can create your own little structure. You can use Claude skills by all means, develop MCP servers and all that stuff. But you have to be careful of what you're building, and does it actually move the needle? Does Susan or Derek actually need this? Will they actually use it, right? Because we can still go the manual route, and sometimes, again, that's always better sometimes, rather than just building this thing up. So you really have to think, right? And you really have to plan, especially right now, more than ever. You're just going to create, if you're creating hundreds of workflows, there's just probably, honestly, a bunch of junk, right? And you're not going to use them. It's going to bog down you. It's going to bog down your mental bandwidth, your focus, your time, your energy. You're going to spend a lot of money probably doing that. And it's not worth it. So you have to think, like, if we were really going to, take your business and just think, wow, am I going to really get Susan or Derek to automate, or are we really going to build a workflow out for, something very frivolous? And it's like, well, that's probably not, even that's not even the best use of AI anyways, right? I guess you have to start somewhere, but you got to think, if we're building out everything here, a lot of that is garbage. I'd come, if I was consulting you, I'd come right in and just say, look, let's take a lot of this junk away. What do we use? What do we need? Can we simplify the systems? Because a lot of these AI systems, I am telling you, it's just a bunch of circular junk. All right. And that is the main issue as well. You think you're vibe coding, it's just boilerplate code, and you think Claude is something spectacular. Don't get me wrong, that's pretty cool. But a lot of this is just circular, right? And the problem is, when it comes to a marketing standpoint, they're trying to not get every dime out of you. That's definitely not the case, but they're trying to make money. So they're going to market anything to you, right? Now Cowork has come out. Well, Cowork is pretty much the same thing as Claude Code, just marketed and pivoted a little differently. All right, so you have to be careful too of what basically you're using, right? Because with all these tools, and there are tons of tools, right? I mean, one day you'll probably be using ChatGPT, the other day you're using Claude Code, then you're moving back to Google, then you're, then you're canceling your ChatGPT subscription. See, it's all this back and forth, and by the end of the day, you're like, I'm exhausted. I feel burnt out. I feel like I haven't learned anything, and I feel like this AI thing is running away from me, because things are just moving so fast, right? And you're trying all these tools, canceling all these subscriptions, trying new subscriptions, and you're like, guys, this is all doing the same stuff. And you got to trust me, I have used hundreds of tools, and there's like a few that are like, whoa, those are good. Those I'm going to continue to use. A lot of them are kind of just the same, marketed a little differently, maybe have a few more things. But the problem is you don't go deep enough, right? Like, there's no loyalty with these tools. There's no loyalty with the current way things are moving in this space, in this market. And so if you're moving if you're moving back and forth between tools, you're not really learning the depth of things. Okay. And that's important. That's really what's going to move the needle. Because if you're only learning kind of surface level material, that's going to be gone in instant, just the way this thing is moving so fast, right? So pick a few tools. In my opinion, Claude Code and Google are going nowhere, all right? Like, they're here to stay, and that's what I mean by that. They are here to stay. Those are the two main things I am currently using. And if you look at Claude, most of the usage is through Claude Code. So I am diving deep into Claude Code, understanding the ecosystem. And then Google has been around for a very long time. They have like cash flow, they have revenue, they have a ton of money, and their vertical integration is second to none. So I am not going away from Claude or Google, or Anthropic rather, okay? Anthropic and Google. Those are like my best friends, all right? So the other tools, sure, you can use them. I've made videos on that before, but don't be hopping around. Try to go deep with specific tools, kind of the main needle movers, all right? And don't build for building's sake. Focus, plan ahead, spend the 6 to 8 hours planning before even building this thing, even typing into Claude. Plan with the models, plan with these things. And just know sometimes doing it manually is still the better option currently. Alrighty, my friends, so have fun building. As always, I'll see you later.